before we had to meet in line for the concert. The teachers barked out their orders, reminding us not to be late even a minute, then finally gave us permission to go. We were like stallions being released into the wild, or in this case, into an endless array of stores where we could salivate over a pair of Doc Martens, blinding patterned hammer pants, or the latest Guns N' Roses CD. While I stood in the middle of my best friends, I couldn't ignore the tension. Like they were almost forcing themselves to be in my presence. I noticed they were looking at each other with knowing glances. Finally, they nudged one of the girls forward to face me. She was looking sheepish, uncomfortable, and couldn't look into my eyes. It was obvious she didn't want to say what she was about to, concealing before letting out a deep sigh. And, well, we don't want to hang out with you anymore either, or be our friend. The words punched me in the gut. The blow was so sharp it punctured a hole in the protective layer I had built over the years to defend against rejection and abandonment. The wound traveled further and deeper than just being told someone didn't want to be my friend. It struck a familiar chord at a level I didn't know existed. My eyes welled with tears. Another one of my so-called friends quickly piped up. She sounded more confident and not at all apologetic. Yeah, and don't go crying like a baby. I panicked. My mind went into overdrive. What did I do wrong? I asked. Was it something I said? Or did? Give me a chance to fix it. I'm so sorry. My voice trailed off in a stuttering mass of apologies. I felt like they had just poured salt, a pound of salt, over an already open wound of rejection. Just as the tears were about to descend, I clenched my jaw and used every ounce of strength I could muster to keep myself from crying. I was proud of myself. My eyes welled so much I could barely see, but not one tear dropped. Not one. I knew what I had to do. Pull myself up, be strong, keep it together, pretend as if the conversation never happened. It was the story of my life, building up even greater walls to shut down my emotions. I ended up walking around by myself, aimlessly wandering through the mall. I was devastated, utterly and absolutely devastated. Though it may seem like a silly event, it wielded enough power to stick with me through the years. It confirmed in my mind that I wasn't important, that I didn't matter, that nobody wanted me, not even my best friends. So that's the end of that section. And you know what? I just know far too many teenagers can really relate to that situation. How many friends, have had another friend, reject them, or a group of girls suddenly turn on them and they feel so alone in that situation. And so I really wanted to read that part for you guys today. And then I was going to read you some of that, but I think I'm going to skip to near the end. Something a little happier.
Because I'm trying to get her. Let me get it.
Okay.
Oh, my hand hurts.
Yeah. So as I read this little bit from the end, a lot of my story has a lot to do with sexual abuse. Something else, unfortunately, I know far too many of you have experienced, and something like 1 in 4 kids, suffer sexual abuse. And so I wanted to tell my story, and part of it I do in near the beginning, but so near the end, this is what I write. As I sought healing from my sexual abuse, my counselors guided me down a winding road of challenges. It started with a decision. I had to first admit my victimization, and second, refuse to be a victim. Yes, I was abused. No, I'm not going to live the rest of my life feeling sorry for myself. Healing would never fully find its way into my heart without giving up a victim mentality. This didn't mean, however, I didn't mourn my pain. I had to love myself enough to grieve what I needed to grieve. I had to value myself enough to sift through the emotional wounds, but not stay there. I also would never be emotionally whole without learning to forgive others, and most importantly, myself. When I recently read the diary I had written during my teen years, I cringed. drinking and smoking this much on that night, getting wasted at a family get-together, calling my mom every name in the book, a myriad of emotions surfaced. I shook my head in disbelief. I was ashamed and embarrassed of the person I once was, someone so different from who I am today. I dropped the book on the floor, not ever wanting to pick it back up. I was even tempted to burn it, to remove it from existence. Suddenly, I remembered the words, "Those that are the hardest to love need it the most." I love that statement. I say it all the time to remind myself to handle certain people with care. I say it to my parents, I say it to my friends, I say it to Justin. Now,
Just the mention of his name.
I couldn't get the saying out of my mind. Then the thought came to me. You apply this statement to everyone in your life, so why can't you accept it for yourself? Why can't you love you? The truth was shocking. It wasn't the adult Pattie I didn't love, it was the teenage Pattie. I couldn't stand the hardened, rebellious defiant teenager I used to be. Days later, I revisited my thoughts with a counselor. I was finally able to sift through the discomfort. Faced head-on with the question and working through it with someone I trusted, I had an awakening. I started releasing the hatred I had for myself as a teenager, for the terrible decisions I had made, for the stupid things I had said and done. I started remembering how my previous therapist had tried to get me to look in a mirror and say, "I love you." It was almost impossible. I tried it once or twice, but hated it. It made me feel weird, strange, even like an imposter. But if I don't love myself, how can I love others? And if I can't receive love, how can I give love? All the commandments can be summed up into two. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, all your soul, and with all your mind, and love your neighbor as yourself. If I can't love others, I can't love others if I don't love myself. So I'm learning how to love myself. I wasn't the only person I needed to forgive. There was a lot of people in my life who I needed to extend the same grace. My dad, my mom, my accusers, Jeremy. Sometimes it felt never-ending. As I continued the healing process, I started realizing that forgiveness is not a one-shot deal. Simply saying I forgive you doesn't make the pain go away, the hurt, or the injustices that was done. I had to continually live from a place of forgiving, sometimes daily, sometimes hourly. There were times it seemed impossible. During my moments of struggle, I had to ask God for help. I figured if he was willing to forgive me, if he was willing to send his only son to die on a cross so I could be forgiven, surely he would help me forgive others. Though it didn't always happen instantaneously, I found myself able to forgive through his grace alone. I've also prayed for help when I needed to love others or be patient, but didn't have the tools to do so. I love the saying, unforgiveness is like drinking poison and waiting for the other person to die. The fact was, if I didn't reach out and forgive, I'd be the one ultimately hurt. I would be held hostage by bitterness. My unforgiveness could even extend outward. It could affect me, not just emotionally, but in many areas such as my relationships or even physical health. Several medical studies have linked unforgiveness with sickness, disease, and depression. One definition of forgiveness is letting go of your right to get even. It doesn't mean injustice was okay. While I didn't have a choice in how I was hurt or broken, I had a choice to forgive. I had a choice to let the pain define me or to heal from its wounds. I made the choice to heal. I made the choice to move on without those wounds crippling my journey. I made the choice to live, to really live. It has not been easy, but it has been worth it. Thank you, guys.
What happened? We would leave now.
I love you guys. Thank you.
Love you.
Say to Justin that I get to see you. It really is like
He's not crying. They want to hear you say Justin again.
You know what's wrong? Can't hear me.
Oh, because does he change a lot? How sweet is she?
Are you going to sign more books? Pattie, are you going to sign more books?
not stopping.
Better, you want to take the camera?
Everyone's like pushing now.
Take the camera video. Oh my gosh, she's signing a book. Oh my god. Oh my god, she's so pretty.
Thank you. And then this one is...
So hot in here. No, don't leave.
That's all I'm going to do for the rest of my life.
Like to get a picture.
Okay, let's see if there's someone that hasn't signed yet, and then we'll do it. Oh my god, here, why don't you give me the camera and
Oh my god, my head looks
Is she gonna do it?
smile.
Oh my god, I can't.
Wait.
Look at it, has it been signed yet?
No, my sign.
I can only do this one, I'm sorry.
Wait, put it on her.
Smile.
You should give her Mama's phone. And then let us
Your
get to the
Twitter? Oh
foot.
my god, Leslie, you better send that to me. You have a Twitter?
Yeah.
Can you put that on Twitter?
Yeah, what's your...
Yeah.
You should get to the front and let her take it. Come on.
You do it.
But it's